What if our justice systems weren't about punishment at all? What if they were designed to heal? Well, today we're going to explore a really fascinating concept called Veritas.O. It's a system that completely flips the script on justice, seeing it as a way to restore meaning after harm has been done. Let's get into it.
Right off the bat, this quote gets to the very heart of the entire system. It's not about an eye for an eye. Instead, it sees harm as a tear in the fabric of our community, in our shared reality. And the goal of justice, then, isn't to punish the person who made the tear, but to reweave that fabric. It's a pretty profound idea, and it sets the stage for everything else.
So, here's our roadmap for this explainer. We're going to look at 4 key parts of Veritas. First, we'll dig into that new philosophy. Then, we'll meet the council of agents that actually run the thing. After that, we'll walk through the restoration loop, how it handles cases. And finally, we'll see how it's designed to learn and get better over time. Okay, first up, the philosophy. Because to really get what makes Veritas.O tick, you have to understand the big ideas it's built on. And let me tell you, this isn't just some small adjustment to the systems we have now. No, it's a fundamental shift in thinking, away from punishment and completely towards repair. The whole thing is built on what's called the doctrine of meaningful thought. Think of this as its constitution, its core programming. It's the set of non-negotiable rules that anchors every single decision the system makes. And it all boils down to these key ideas: restoration first, being aware of grief, honoring rights, and this really interesting concept of time-reversible justice. So let's break that down. Restoration first is exactly what it sounds like. The system's default setting is always to fix the harm, not to lock someone up. Emotional sovereignty is just, wow. It means grief and other feelings aren't just side effects to be managed. They're seen as sacred data, absolutely essential for finding the right solution. Then you have time reversibility, a promise that actions taken by the system should be, as much as possible, undoable. No irreversible sentences. And finally, fairness-scaled proportionality just means getting rid of those one-size-fits-all punishments. The remedy is tailored to the specific harm, every single time. All right, so who or what actually makes these decisions? This is where we meet the Council of Agents. See, Veritas.ai isn't run by human judges. It's operated by a group of specialized AIs, each one designed to be an expert in a very particular kind of thinking. The best way to picture this is to imagine a dream team of experts sitting around a table for every single case. You've got your top legal mind, a grief counselor, a historian, an ethicist, all of them weighing in together. Except in this system, these experts are highly advanced AIs, all working together seamlessly. And here is the council itself. Juno is the conductor, the one that orchestrates the whole process. Aegis is its conscience, constantly scanning for any kind of bias. Then you get into these really unique agents. Kairos is amazing. It's basically an empathy AI that paces the whole process to respect people's grief. Lyra is the storyteller and fact-checker, making sure the truth of what happened is honored. And finally, you have Thala and Vesta, who are all about creating real-world outcomes, whether that's restoring a damaged ecosystem or designing a community ritual to help people heal. So we've met the team, but how do they actually do the work? That brings us to the restoration loop, which is the step-by-step process they follow to resolve a case. The process is really methodical, with some serious guardrails built in. It starts simply enough. A case comes in, the Council of Agents deliberate, and they design a remedy that focuses on restoration. But here's where it gets really clever. Before anything happens, the proposed solution has to pass 2 critical tests. First, a reversibility check. Can this be undone if needed? And second, a contradiction check. Does this action violate any of the system's core principles? Only if it passes both does the case move to closure, where the whole event is logged in the system's memory so it can learn from it. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but how do you stop these AIs from going off the rails? And that's a fair question. The answer is a super structured set of instructions, basically an internal rulebook that every agent has to follow for every single thought process. It keeps them consistent, transparent, and fair. And here we get a little peek under the hood at those instructions. This is what makes the AI's thinking so transparent. Look how specific this is. It tells the agent what role to play, act as Juno. It gives it hard rules, propose reversible steps first. It sets a very clear goal, deliver a non-carceral ruling. It even tells it how to think step by step. This level of detail is how you build fairness and accountability right into the code.
All right, this brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, and honestly, it might be the most important. Veritas.O is not a static system. It's built from the ground up to learn, to reflect on its own decisions, and to get better over time through constant self-auditing. And this learning happens in cycles of 5 cases. You can see the system is designed to handle a huge range of issues, from something straightforward like a car accident to something way more complex, like deepfake defamation or an identity shadow incident, which sounds like a systemic data breach creating fake digital clones of people. After every 5 cases, Juno and Aegis team up to review everything, looking for patterns, checking fairness scores, and figuring out how to improve the logic for the next cycle. The goals for these audits are crystal clear and tie right back to that core philosophy. Number 1, reduce bias. Is the system getting fairer? Number 2, improve how well the restoration actually works. Are people and communities actually healing? And number 3, preserve reversibility. Is the system sticking to its promise of not causing irreversible harm? It's a built-in feedback loop for constant improvement. So, why are we talking about a system that's still just a concept? Because the ideas inside it are just so powerful. Things like built-in fairness audits from the start, designing for reversibility, and putting restoration ahead of punishment, these are all concepts that can seriously challenge us to think differently about how we build our own systems in the real world today. Ultimately, this whole exploration gives us a glimpse of a radically different way of thinking about justice. And it leaves us with this one big question to chew on. What if our systems were built not just to judge us, but to learn from our mistakes and, most importantly, to help us heal? What would that world actually look like?